name is Paula from Travel Family Academy, and today we're going to be talking about overcoming jet lag with a baby. So first things first, you can start adapting to the new time before your departure. So a few days before, like a week more or less, you can start adjusting to the new time zone. This is only mainly applicable if it's a small time change. So if it's 2 to 3, 4 hours time change, it's easier to adapt beforehand because it won't interrupt with your schedule much. Because obviously before you go on holiday, you might still be working. And if you have a big difference, like 12 hours or 6 hours from time difference from on the new country, it will be very hard for you to adapt to it, because obviously you'll be awake at night and working during the day, so you'll just be overtired. So you need to consider these things before you depart. If it is 1 to 2 hours, we definitely recommend doing it beforehand. It will just make it a lot easier for you when you arrive there. But then if it's not, of course, you just adapt to the new time zone as soon as you arrive. Forget the old time zone and just live on the present and that time zone that you are. It will be a lot easier to adapt to this new time, because you won't be stuck thinking, oh, I should be sleeping now, oh, I would have been sleeping now, you know, type thing. So it's way easier for you to just forget the home time and focus on your destination time zone and start adapting accordingly. It might take a few days, of course, but it's the best way to get it done, and it will make it a lot easier for you and for your family. Another thing that helps a lot with the jet lag is if you have a routine at home, bring that along to your travel destination and just do them. So like if they sleep after lunchtime, or if they sleep as soon as they have dinner, do them here, like at the bedtime routine. If you have dinner, then bath, and then, you know, read a story and then go to bed. These are all cues that you can give to your baby that it's time to go to bed, even if it's a different time. Another thing is being outside it really helps. The natural light helps adjust to the new time zone, because it's another cue for babies. So being sunlight, being daylight, and being outside, it relates to being awake. So they will be able to understand that and obviously adapt more easily. And then when it's nighttime, you just need to make sure it's always dark, even if they wake up, which is absolutely fine to happen the first couple of nights. You just need to keep everything dark still, don't turn on lights, don't use screens, and just allow them to, you know, play themselves to sleep again, sort of way. So it's always good to have as well during these times a few toys that are not loud, that don't actually make noise, and are soft and cuddly, that will promote going back to sleep again. One thing you want to avoid is screen time before bedtime, because the blue light kind of like gets them more awake. No screen time before bed will be easier for them to fall asleep, and rather than being awake and active. Another thing you should do when still overcoming the jet lag, because obviously again it takes a few days to adjust to new time even for a baby, is if you are trying to get them to stay awake for a bit longer, use snacks, use food to get them energy to stay just up for just a little bit longer. It's a great way of, also getting them energy if they, need a burst of energy, and it's just very useful. If you have a snack at hand, it can avoid you from putting your baby to sleep a bit earlier than you were expecting. Okay, now talking about naps and how to deal with the naps is, if your baby still naps, you still should do that, because it's part of their routine. Even if you think that they will sleep too much, it's okay for you to wake them up in case they do sleep too long. For instance, when we were in Bali with our son, it was a 12-hour difference and the naps were a bit discombobulated. So what we did was, he was sleeping a bit too long for his nap, so we would just allow him to sleep 2 hours, which is the normal time he sleeps here. So we would sleep 2 hours, and then we would wake him up, and then he will be fine for going to sleep in a few hours later. So you have to play along like this. So if you know that your child sleeps an hour to 2 hours max in the afternoon, I wouldn't allow them to sleep more, because then it's just gonna mess up the night sleep and they will not be as tired as you would hope. Another thing is, the first 2 days, we always recommend you to take it easy, but it doesn't mean you have to stay at home. You can just, have a tour in the morning. In the afternoon, you stay at the hotel or the resort and you play in the pool, but you still be outside, you still are enjoying yourself, but you're not doing too much. Because you are also adapting to a new time zone. It's not just your baby, so you need to take that into consideration. And it is very easy to be overtired the first couple of days. So make sure you are resting enough. So when the baby rests, you should be resting too. And I know it's very easy to be like, oh, but they just finally went to bed. Let's enjoy ourselves, watch the sunset, and have a glass of wine. You should still do that, but also go to bed as soon as you can. Because you might need to be up during the night, because if your baby is up, you might not be able to be asleep. So these are the kind of things that you kind of need to think about when you are planning to go on a vacation with a big time difference. Another thing I'll say is be very patient. It's very confusing for babies. They don't understand what is actually happening, and as well as yourself, because you need to rest as well. You need your energies for when that baby is up. So please make sure you have some rest as well. But also you need to have patience, and to have patience, you'll have to be rested. So these are the things to consider, because one of the hardest things I think for us parents, especially when dealing with things like you have to deal with jet lag and you have to deal with food in a different country, you have to deal with all of these little things, we kind of don't give ourselves the time to rest. So to end up on a positive note, I'll say this: we have had a few time different changes with our baby and now toddler, and every time trying to get on the new schedule only took us 2 nights max of him waking up at night, but he would fall straight back asleep. If you can stick to the routine, and if you are paying attention to cues and making sure you are sticking to the schedule, you will get the results. And in less than 2 nights you will, well, no, not less than 2 nights, but in 2 nights you will be able to be on schedule and get to enjoy the new destination that you are on. And I will say this again, don't forget to rest yourself, because you need it. And so thank you for listening. We will be sharing videos on flying with babies and toddlers and all of the things that you need to know weekly on our YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe. Thank you for listening, and I hope this was helpful. If you have any comments or any questions, please ask them below, and I'll see you soon. Bye.